Why not? So here we go then, champion select once again. The bans once again are for EG, Elise, Cassidy. I think they're going to go for Jarvan 4 here next, to be honest, chat. I mean, that'd be a safe choice,
prediction right now. Of course, we're redoing the bans, so Joe's cheating with this one because we know that there's going to be no extra bans for Giants. Of course, they're going to have to let that timer go all the way out. Last bans, Jarvan and Evil Geniuses will be first picking Zed at some point. So, I mean, the interesting thing about this is Froggen has played Zed. Like, I've seen him play it. They can swap it back and forth, but Wicked's probably most comfortable champion in the game right now, aside from Renekton, is Zed. But if they wanted to go with an all AD comp, they could do Renekton Zed. They could do a mind game and just not get Anivia. But with how much Froggen has been practicing Anivia of late, how much he's been playing it in solo queue, how much he loves the champion. He has like an Anivia dance that he does sometimes when he goes out to bars. It's amazing, to be fair. Maybe we'll see a viral video of it at some point in the future, but it's what I think he's going to go for.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a gift to EG there. You can have Anivia if you want it. I'd expect it to come in as a last pick maybe, but
yeah,
at the same time, Giants have last pick, so they can always wait on that one as well. It looks like they're going to be taking Kha'Zix and Lulu here as their first choices.
So those picks are very standard for Giants as far as I can tell, right? They're not really taking many risks. Kha'Zix can go top or mid, but like all the Kha'Zix that have been successful, at least yesterday, were the mid lane Kha'Zix. Darian played top lane Kha'Zix, didn't really have a good showing. You can 2v1 Kha'Zix fairly well, you shut him down, but when he's mid against those squishy casters, he's incredibly effective for this. So now Evil Geniuses is up with the question, right? Do they pick Anivia now, or do they wait? Because I don't think the Giants is going to pick Anivia. So it's a matter of, does Froggen care to wait to see if it's a counter lane, or is he just going to pick it now?
Yeah, I mean, they've banned that Cassidy out, which we know Exterminate's very, very good on. We know he can play a very mean Twisted Fate as well. His Rise obviously stands out there as well. But interesting to see how they go about that whole scenario here with the mid laners. It looks like we are going to be seeing Misfortune along with Nasus. Damn you, Froggen.
He's gonna go back to it. I feel like he's definitely going back to it. They want to lock down.
Or is he baiting it?
They want to lock down Misfortune. He's gonna go Teemo later. The guys are gonna go crazy. It's not gonna happen. But I like this. I mean, I think Snoopy's two junglers now in Season 3 are probably going to be Nasus and Cho'Gath for the most part, because they fit his style of tanky guys with lots of utility who can make things happen and have a lot of persistent threat in team fights, right? Very tactical plays for Snoopy. He doesn't care about super crazy landing all your skill shot mechanics. It's like, I'm going to just run at you, whether you go in at the right time, and that's how I'm going to be effective. And that's how Snoopy and almost all of Evil Geniuses actually plays.
And he was strong yesterday as well. I mean, Snoopy gets his fair share of flack, actually, for, you know, what he can play in the jungle, is, you know, the size of his champion pool and how effective he can be. But yesterday we saw he was great. There's a Mundo pick. That's one of Morden's favorites. And there is an Ashe as well.
So Jim's not going for Kennen, does go for Ashe, so he's sticking with his standard things. And even though that's comfortable for Giants, like, it is such the comp that Evil Geniuses wants right now. Like, I expect this Thresh to go in for Crepo. He wants to be the Thresh Prince. He's gonna have to do a lot more to take that away from Edward on Gambit Gaming, but everyone's chanting right now. They want to see Anivia, and Anivia would make so much sense here, right? It's just, that doesn't make sense. I think Yellow Pete is waiting on this one. They're playing with the crowd enough here. I'm going to call Anivia, Joe.
Honestly, it's got to be Anivia, hasn't it? I mean, we're talking about Froggen, who is basically Anivia. I think his middle name is, in fact, Anivia. And yeah, there it is. There's the Anivia. It had to happen. It was open for him. It's classic. Why not?
It's Evil Geniuses. He's waiting. He's trying to build up the potential. No, it's there. It's there. Yes. Okay. We knew it was going to happen the whole time, but it's still kind of exciting to see.
Still exciting to see, even though it comes in with that last round there. So what would you go with in this situation? I mean, knowing that actually that Twisted Fate looks like it's going to be, we talked about Extermin there being a good Twisted Fate player.
Extermin still has Rise available, even though he has Castan, but picking Rise against Anivia, I feel like he'd get picked out in a lot of situations. He needs to keep his distance from Anivia, and he needs to be able to go elsewhere against her. I mean, Froggen will know how to play this matchup against Twisted Fate. It's a very bold pick for Giants, but that's got to be what it is. There it is.
Yeah, and I think they need to take some risks, right, in this scenario that they've got going on here. It's not a game that I think without something risky that they could win. To put it bold, just the way that EG's played yesterday, the way that we saw Giants play yesterday, I think that some risks are going to have to be taken. It's going to have to be pretty much all or nothing for Giants in this game.
And speaking of the all or nothing, like, they got to go bottom lane for the majority of their ganks, I think. They need to get Jims going on Ashe, combo the Ashe arrows with the Twisted Fate ults, and then go from there. Samix, I feel like, is going to be kind of on his own. Maybe Morton will be able to help, but Giants just has to win this game early. It's going to be so difficult for them, though, because you look at Evil Geniuses, and this is their new, in my opinion, like, composition. Like, if they could get this every game, they would pick this every game. This is their new thing. Misfortune for Pete, great positioning, Froggen on his thing, Wicked on Zed. They're going to win the lanes, and they're really strong in team fights, too. This is an Evil Geniuses composition.
Yeah, and I had an interesting talk last night with Wicked. Alex Sitch was there, and it's interesting to see the difference of opinions, let's call it, between the pros. As Wicked said, you know, we much prefer to play our lineup and practice what we need to practice rather than looking to other teams and watching what they do. And he said to Alex, you know, when you watch other teams, you only watch level 1, right? And Alex just grinned at him, as in, no, we don't just watch level 1. But it's cute that you only do that. And Alex says, well, we like to prepare for every single opportunity, but with only one ban here against EG, they can play a comfortable lineup, and that's exactly what they've got here. This is, you know, if you look through the 5, they're probably all like, well, that's exactly what we wanted. Every single one of them.
The biggest thing about this Evil Geniuses composition is it fits their playstyle in the sense that if they want to disengage, they can disengage, right? That's the whole reason Snoopy doesn't like playing Vi or Volibear, really, because you go in and you are
and that's
in.
It.
That is the fight. You don't get to change your mind partway through. But here, with the Thresh Lantern to help them get out, Snoopy's going to keep his distance with Wither, you know, being able to kite back and forth. Wicked can even throw out the Shadow Clones and just use his E for the slow. It's a very, very good thing for EG as they run out of their base.
So here we go then. EG versus Giants, our first game of Sunday here on the European LCS live from Lille, France, in the Zenith Arena. Level 1, we've heard from Crepo when he was on the analysis desk. They like to study this level 1 scenario and what could possibly happen here.
Yeah, and look at this. They have 4 in the brush that didn't get spotted by any wards. This could be very, very dangerous. They're going right into that brush.
Oh, here comes the hook. They've managed to pull Twisted Fate out into that one there. The stun card is pulled up for him, but he goes very low. Yellow Pete is going to get the first kill. Morton goes down as well. It's 2 kills for Evil Geniuses. Can they get in onto Babette? He forced the flash away. He's so low. The flash has been burnt left, right, and center. But what a start for EG! Oh, that was super close. Babette just getting away.
Not only did they start the game without getting 2 bans, but they got 2 kills at the start of it as well. That's the level 1 scouting that they do. This is why they play for the level 1. They prepped before here. They were watching the Giants games. They knew exactly where Giants was going to go, and that Thresh hook blind into the brush. They knew what was happening. They hit it. They made it count.
Brilliant, brilliant start for Evil Geniuses. And for Giants, they're going to be so downtrodden at this stage of the game. They've already lost those bans earlier on. The start has been just horrible for them, really, at this point of things. So we'll have to see how they can really react to this one. The kills, of course, 1 for Misfortune, 1 for Anivia. Couldn't have really gone any better there, no, unless they'd have got even more kills than that right from the very get-go. Snoopy here going to be starting off at that blue buff.
And one of the big things about these level 1s is you got to keep track of like who used their summoner spells and what's still available. And we know how good Froggen is on Anivia. He has very particular matchups for everything he goes against. Against Twisted Fate, he runs AD runes on Anivia, so he's going for first blood here in this mid lane. He's got 60 AD. Anivia has 600 auto attack range last I checked, so he's harassing Extra like crazy. Anivia still has Flash Ignite. Extra has no Flash, so like, not only is it the 2-0 first blood, but the strongest laner on Evil Geniuses has a flash up on his opponent.
And speaking of lanes, early on we were talking about how Kha'Zix's a strong point. He's definitely not in that 2 versus 1. Giants have gone for the lane switch and put Kha'Zix against the Misfortune Thresh lane. What do you think about that one, Jack?
I think this is another thing that points in the favor of Evil Geniuses. Like, Wicked talks about how much he likes Zed in a 1v2 lane because he can sit in his turret like this, farm the wave because he has pretty good wave clear, and when he hits 6, he can just single out one guy and just go and try to kill him. So Wicked's very comfortable in this, whereas the 1v2 for Crepo and Yellow Pete, as soon as he lands 1 death sentence, that's a kill. They don't have the same potential on the other side of the lane.
Yeah, and Samak's already having a hard time there. Up at 0 CS right now, which obviously is far from being up from anything. But on the other side, Wicked, he's got 2 assists, which will have really helped get things going for him at the start, and he's doing a great job under this turret. Jimbones and Mabetta going to be trying to put down as much damage as they can onto the turret, but Zed is always a threat. The burst that comes out of him, especially as you said at that level 6, they have to be so careful about it.
And it's already paying off right now for Evil Geniuses here. You just look at the difference between Zed and Kha'Zix, 10-2, right? It's not even really getting there. Samak's already had to go back to base once and shop, and now Snoopy's around the back, but I think that's getting repelled, yeah.
Yeah, that was timing from both junglers coming in, but Snoopy actually still hanging around here. The briefcase is coming out. There's a lantern to pull Snoopy to safety, but they've done a lot of damage onto this turret already. It's down below half health, and that is a start and a half for EG.
They have came to play. I mean, they know what's at stake. They're in that 4th spot in the standings right now. They don't want to face the same fate that their actually kind of formal brother team over in NA did, CLG NA, and fall to like an 8-9 record. They know this is go time for the season for them. We're at the mid-season mark, and they do seem to be kind of finding something. Obviously, they had that great start, and everything is going their way early on here, Joe.
And we saw there already the damage that Wiki can put down. Crepo gonna get a pink ward here inside of the brush there on the bottom side of the river. Of course, Dragon not being taken yet. We're only 4.5 minutes in. We see it sometimes, but not just yet in this one. Modern actually was looking maybe to invade there in towards the EG jungle. Snoopy was already ready and waiting now. Let's have a look at the CS in this middle lane, because we know that Froggen is a monster farmer. He's at 31-25 as Wicked is trying to bully Babetta and Jimbones away from this turret. That could go down in the next wave or two. Yeah, in this top lane we have to watch very, very closely here. Wicked is nearing level 6. He's got just hit level 5. He needs to get a whole nother wave. I wonder if he can hold this turret long enough before it goes down, but now with Twisted Fate coming in from behind, Wicked's going to lose this turret, and I don't think he's getting level 6. Well, he's trying to put as much damage as he could there on towards Ashe and Lulu to try and force them to back away, but they've got the turret. Twisted Fate actually backed away from that scenario, and that is first turret of the game being picked up by Giants. Let's go to bottom lane here and see if Yellow P and Crepo can do the same here with this wave coming in. The turret is still, I'm not going to say healthy, but it's below half HP. It's not quite as low as we saw there in the top from that last wave. Yeah, and they're going to continue pounding on this turret, though. They have a very huge wave, and Kha'Zix doesn't have the best way of clearing it. He hasn't evolved his Void Spikes yet, so they should be able to get this turret here, and that completely evens things out. Now it's just a matter of where do they go next. The only difference here, though, Giants has the Twisted Fate pressure, so the roaming around of Yellow Feet and Crepo is much more dangerous than the roaming around of Giants' AD and support combo. Let's see what Extermin can do here. Needs, to be honest, to make an impact in this game. There's no way that he can, you know, hit level 6 and continue out the game without getting other lanes rolling here, because after going that 2-0 behind, he's behind in farm. The AD carry's pretty level, but compared Zed to Kha'Zix, 29-17, those 2 assists on Wicked, and he's not even been back. He lost his turret earlier on, and he said, you know what, I just don't care. I'm just going to keep pushing and pushing. And Wicked gets a lot of flack sometimes for not having the biggest champion pool, but nobody gives him flack when he's on his champions. Like when Wicked's on Aurelia, when Wicked's on Zed or on Renekton, he is a powerhouse. And even though he was stuck in a 1v2, like he was against Jim's Ashe. He's only 10 minion kills down, so Lulu being in that lane against him didn't really slow him down at all. He knows exactly what he's doing. Twisted Fate trying to make anything happen is going to be so hard, because Froggen on Anivia will consistently keep that lane pressured out. And I want to see how Giants tries to make plays, because Evil Geniuses does seem to be back on point. EG saw that ward being put down there in the blue buff. Anivia and Zed was actually coming up there as well, just to make sure that that wasn't going to get stolen away. And they've managed to keep that one locked in there. That was a nice try by Giants to try to get that through. If Morden could have denied Anivia the blue buff, that would have allowed Exter the ability to shove the lane out of Froggen and then go and roam for ganks. But now that Anivia has the blue, the lane's always going to be at Giants' mid lane tower, and Exter might not be able to help out the other lanes, which is exactly what EG wants. Pushing that one up indeed. Coming flying past Babetta. Don't want to get involved with that. Ash still not level 6. So
look at this.
Arrow not going to be able to come out just yet. Extermin getting caught here. Actually, the stun will land. Snoopy coming around. Where is the Wither? There is the Ghost Pop. Good briefcase coming out. Wither goes down on towards Morden. There's a Spirit Fire. Have they got the damage here to finish off? Not quite.
If Morden did not burn that flash at that precise moment, he would have been dead. Froggen threw out his E and Q at exactly the same time. It would have comboed, but because of this is one of those, let's gank because we know we want the dragon. Froggen actually went around to harass the blue buff because he knew that's where Extra was heading for it. Knowing Extra was going to be walking back to the lane, that's how Froggen got the jump on it. And this was all premeditated for Evil Geniuses. So yes, they were only talking about the level 1, but this is the game sense that they have, and they knew this play was coming from a mile away. Easy dragon for them, well played.
And this is exactly what the point you made yesterday in the EG game, that the ganks were timed perfectly with a dragon push straight afterwards. We'll see next time when the dragon's spawning whether they go for something like that again. That'll indicate that it's a big part, as Zed may be in trouble here in the top lane. Extermin has come in. Wicked will flash away, but the stun card lands. There come the wild cards. Wicked down to below half HP as Samuks is going to flash in there as well. Wild card will miss, and Wicked is able to escape.
That was an awesome escape. He used his ultimate to dash away from Twisted Fate, then his flash, and that saved his Living Shadow long enough to go back over the wall. So they just couldn't keep up with him no matter how many blinks he has. And like yesterday, there was that matchup between Twisted Fate and Zed. I don't remember exactly the teams, but Zed is one of the hardest people in the game for Twisted Fate to gank, because no matter what you do, all he has to do is save his Living Shadow, and he is out of there as soon as you decide where to go.
Right now, Froggen is pushing in. They're going to get the hook on towards Morden. He's not getting away from this. Crepo gets the kill. Kill secured there for Evil Geniuses. That puts them 3-0 up. Will they be able to put down more pressure onto this middle turret? Twisted Fate and Lulu, the two here to try and defend this one, but with Snoopy coming in there as well, they've got enough damage, enough tank ability to get the outer turret.
That was smart. A lot of other less experienced teams would have backed up and waited for the wave, but that is just not what EG wants to wait for. That's more aggressive than you've seen EG be in the past. That wasn't when they took slow, but that was a very calculated move anyway, even though it was on the aggressive side. They're now up 2 turrets to 0. That's about 2,500 gold, and they've stopped all the plays Giants has tried to make.
Really strong start here for EG. Jimbo's just making sure there with the hawk shot that no one's coming around the side to gank him up. Let's have a look through the items here, Jack. We can compare them with Anivia, still that 20 CS lead there or thereabouts that Froggen has. Rod of Ages is finished.
And he's actually 1,000 gold up on Exter. That 1 kill and 2 assists really coming in big. The fact that they've gotten the 1 turret advantage and the dragon, as you were saying, but getting the Rod of Ages this early compared to just a couple Thorns rings from Twisted Fate completely swings that lane to the other side. He's also got 2 levels on him. You look at the AD carries as well, and it's like a BF sword plus Fam Scepter for Yellow Pete, soon to be a Bloodthirster, and the slow building Blade of the Ruined King for Jims. Again, it's one of those 600 gold leads that they have on the AD carries over there, and it's just a huge, huge difference at this juncture in the game. As long as Evil Geniuses continues to keep the lane pressure up, they're in such good shape, they don't really have to make any super aggressive plays.
And here is Froggen just bullying Morden around. I thought they might try and collapse in on towards Kha'Zix in that top lane. Thresh is already waiting here inside of the brush. Here comes Twisted Fate. That's going to surely be a disengage from both sides, yet they do go back in the end. And, well, it was nicely played from both in the end.
And now we see Giants trying to make their play. They got triple people in the middle lane. Jims, Babetta, and Morden were all there pushing up. But how are you going to push through on the Anivia? They don't even get a extra turret shot, and they try to harass Froggen with the volley, but grouping 3 mid against Froggen, who's still on full mantle, really just going to get him in trouble. Now Snoopy almost went in for a fight.
And they've got a lot of slow potential there as Wicked has taken down Samuks for that one. That's 4-0 up now as Jimbo's here. Could be in a little bit of trouble. Cleanses the arrow off. Can he keep going for the kill? Flashes in. Bullet time is off to the side. And Jimbo's just casually saunters around the side of it. Yellow Pete so close to wrapping up another kill.
They're going to just keep pushing this one down. I mean, Giants grouped 3 in the middle lane. It distracted them. Evil Geniuses got the gank onto Samuks, which we unfortunately missed. They basically just bursted him down from 100 to 0, though. And Giants is looking a little bit lost right now.
Yeah, we see this turret in the top lane is going to be falling down. Middle turret probably won't last too much longer either. I think it's got 1 auto attack pretty much left on it there. And that already, you know, we've got a 4,000 500 gold lead for EG, 3-0 in turrets, 4-0 in kills. If we look down the individual gold there, 1,200 for Froggen in the middle lane, 1,000 between the AD carries, 1,400 almost in the top lane. That it's just a big difference over the entire map right now.
And we actually see Wicked going for that BF sword as well with his big gold advantage. A lot of Zeds you'll see will rush the Bilgewater Cutlass and get Blade of the Ruined King because you can spike the active damage with your ultimate to just amp it even more. But he just wants a Bloodthirster right now. He's keeping the pressure up, trying to keep the lane shoved. With the Bloodthirster, he can clear the back wave much easier than if he were to go for Blade of the Ruined King. And considering he was able to just burst out Samix in that top lane for a kill, he's quite fine without the extra burst of Blade of the Ruined King.
Oh, Snoopy is very far up here, but the rest of the team actually going to come around the back. There is the wall coming down. Will they be able to follow up? No, they won't. But what they have done here is won themselves positioning for that blue buff.
They had that blue timed precisely. The dragon should be up in about 45 seconds, but the interesting thing here is Wicked's got to react because he doesn't want Samix to get any free farm in the top lane. Either way, they look in great position. They're denying the blue buff from Exeter. They've completely removed the Twisted Fate pressure from the game, and they are controlling the pace really strongly here.
Yeah, Twisted Fate not really been too involved with things, has it? Up until now, as we say that, there goes the ultimate, and he's going to come in towards this middle lane, but there's no target available.
Who was he really going to go for? There were 3 people in middle. It's almost like he just wanted to get there faster, but I don't know. He probably thought there was a play there that wasn't, and that is a very warded blue buff.
Oh, Samix, there comes the stun. Oh, he jumped away from it. That was brilliant from Samix. Saw it coming, leaps himself away. Blue buff is still there, ready for the taking. Snoopy going to back straight onto it. Close.
So the cool thing about this for Evil Geniuses is Froggen already has the enemy blue buff, so they can give this blue to Snoopy, which will give him tons and tons of withers. One thing that Snoopy's kind of done this game is he's actually pretty far behind. Look at this, he's level 7 at 14 minutes. But it doesn't matter because the lanes have been in such control. Snoopy's really just been kind of meandering around, doing what needs to be done so the rest of the team can work, and it's working for them.
Right now we see the EG well into the bottom side of the Giants' jungle, and that times perfectly again with the respawning of that dragon. Snoopy just pushing the middle wave out. Wicked up at the top lane right now. They're feeling obviously they might not even need to be involved in this one, but dragon is available for the taking.
Giants wants no part of this. When Evil Geniuses went in and got control of the blue buff, they basically made Giants scared to even enter their own jungle. So going as far as the river to get the dragon is something they're not even willing to do. And check out Wicked while the dragon's getting taken. He wants to get Jims. He's going to get him.
Oh, he's just, yeah, exploded. What can we say about that one? There is Zed and Anivia chiming in together.
The Shadow Ninja just came out of the fog of war and blew somebody up. So Jims, not the safest champion to pick against Ashe. When Zed first started getting flavor in the competitive scene, there was a player called Insec over in Korea. He would routinely jump over Ashe arrows with Zed's ultimate just to get to him. So Jims, if Wicked can pull off plays like that, no chance of staying alive now that Wicked's getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, he's now 2-0-2, got a good lead in a creep score as well. Let's have a look a little bit more down the items. We've seen a Brutalizer being picked up for Zed, along with that earlier tier. The Sheen finally coming out for Extermin's Twisted Fate. That just shows you how far behind he is right now.
He wants to get a Lich Bane. I mean, we've seen guys rush that, but they are just so scared. Look at that wall from Froggen. This is the Anivia practice that they've been talking about.
And Babetta is going to find himself falling short once again. It's Yellow P that picks it up. Ash Arrow came in from the side, but honestly, that was not going to stop Babetta falling down from that one. And EG now going to pressure in towards this inner turret in the bottom lane. And again, going by the book.
Yeah, and look at this. Morton and Exeter are on the other side of the map. Again, the catch.
There is the catch coming in. Bullet time won't quite finish off Samix, but they've done what they came here to do, and that's force them away from the turret and then take the turret itself down.
So we'll see how Evil Geniuses puts the foot on the gas pedal here, because they do seem to be slightly evolved, right? Like, I know we always harp on Evil Geniuses, at least in the last couple weeks, about reinventing themselves and how their strategy hasn't been working this season, but stuff like this, even though they had the great start, is kind of a future for them, because I want to compare Evil Geniuses to Gambit Gaming, who are like their long-time rivals. And you compare the way Gambit Gaming wins games. Everyone has their small champion roster, in all honesty, that they work off of, and then they execute their strategy, right? Alex plays farming assassins. Genja has his couple supports, always loves Thresh, right? Or sorry, that's Edward, but EG is actually very similar in the types of champions they're playing, and if they pick up their aggression, they could very well turn into a Gambit Gaming-like team as well.
All right, now EG just chasing up that middle lane there. Lulu and Mundo were there. Do we have the Oracle on? I think we do, right? Yeah, on Thresh, on Crepo. Thought they'd just taken that ward down there in the middle lane that was put down by Giants. So they're going to start to clear things out again. Very methodical, approaching the 20-minute mark. Oracle on, clear out around Baron, and start to set up, choking them in their own jungle.
They are just fully in control right here. You just think of completed item thresholds. Like, not only is it the 7,000 gold, it's the huge amounts of experience, it's the team comp advantage on top of that. They've completely removed the global presence of Exter. Like, Exter's trying to make something happen right now in the bottom lane by split pushing, but there's 5 strong on Evil Geniuses. We'll see how aggressive they want to be by how strongly they keep this push going.
Well, that's the thing. It's a 5 versus 4 in this top lane now, and Extermin, the position he's in, he can't get there with his ultimate.
And you can see the game of chicken has already been lost by Giants because Exter, okay, he was faking his back on Twisted Fate. He might be trying to split push. Evil Geniuses has to make up their mind whether they want to go or fall back pretty shortly.
Well, they're on the, he's on the outer turret here, Extermin. Doesn't have that Lich Bane finished off just yet. EG trying to get in there. The Void Spikes doing a good job along with the volley. Those briefcases coming out there to really annoy them as a stun is going to land here on towards Babetta, but they don't follow up. There is the Ash Arrow coming out, but it hits Crepo instead of the intended target, Yellow Pete.
Yeah, and it looks like Giants is just trying to stop them from getting back. Evil Geniuses took a lot of poke, but they got to be careful here. Jims is on no mana, and they don't have wards with their chase, so Evil Geniuses might look to turn this one.
Here comes Morden, ward down, will avoid the stun coming out of Anivia. He's going to keep throwing those briefcases in there, trying to slow them down. Crepo gets slowed by the volley as well. Giants still chasing down. Twisted Fate going in, there is the hook, the box come down, there is bullet time as well, and Giants being ripped to pieces, but Samak's in the back, he will finally fall. Morden is in there as well, Crepo being pushed down by him, but Crepo is staying alive, not long enough though. Jimbones will fall, and now it's Morden trying his best to run away. Here is Wicked, he's going to get the kill onto Lulu. They pick off Mundo as well.
So 4 for 2, they do lose the turret in the other lane. Exter might keep pushing for the next one. That is not as bad as you'd expect for Giants. It still probably won't turn the tide for them, but they did kill Pete, they did kill Crepo, they got the turnarounds on those bounties. They got some important just information of their jungle too. They know what they have in a fight. Still probably not going to be enough here, and if Exter can't get this turret, that's definitely not worth it for them.
And Froggen is actually flying his way in there towards Extermin, and in the end he just sticks the ultimate down, gets rid of the creeps, and will go back home once again. He portaled back, but just came straight into that lane, no mess around. Let's have a look at the items that have been completed here on the last attempt as Wicked. His position is going to be spotted out here, but can they lock him down? Extermin has put the Ignite in there. Where's the stun card? Actually could have pulled it first time, will land it the second time around, and we've got Kha'Zix chasing him from the backside as well. There's the Lantern, pulled to safety. There's
the disengage that Evil Geniuses really loves. Crepo managed to get back to Wicked. Wicked, you know, didn't really have many options to get away there. He used his Living Shadow to get over the Baron Pit. It was a very good attempt by Exter. That was really the first we've seen of a bit of global presence coming in. But now that they've burned that ultimate, Samak's actually used his Kha'Zix ultimate in the chase as well because he was trying to catch up. Just makes Giants a little bit weaker. And now there could be a Kha'Zix in trouble because Evil Geniuses is stalking.
They are closing in. There is the wither down on Samax, which means instantly he's going to have a few problems to get away. Crepo in there with him as well will knock him back. The hook actually missing there, and here comes the Ash Arrow. Giants are going to look to turn this one around with Jimbones coming in from the side. Crepo going low. The shield will keep him alive for now. There is Samax jumping away as Lulu joins in the fight. Snoopy is constantly slowed down here, but he's got that ultimate running, and here comes Froggen from the side. The stun is going to miss. He focuses around on towards Samax. The auto attack's not enough to finish off the kill. Is Snoopy going to die here? He's got hardly anything left. They're going on towards Jimbo. They get themselves 2 kills. Here comes Wicked from the side with Yellow Pete as well, and they clean up 3 kills.
What an awkward fight that was. It was a support and a jungler who's also, Snoopy's one of the more supporty style junglers, especially with his build and style this game. Slowest possible fight. Long, slow bird made it up to finish that one off. They did get a 3 for 2. Exter wasn't involved in that one at all. He was pushing bottom on Twisted Fate, and then actually just kind of stalled out the game for Evil Geniuses. I can't say that was a full win for either team.
And actually a surrender vote failing there for Giants. So
1 to 4.
Decided not to go for that one. So it's obviously just one man in the team who's like, guys, this is over. Let's get out of here. But the rest of the team not wanting to go for that one. Dragon is up and available. EG going to go down to that, and they're going to be taking this one without any problems whatsoever. So, Jack, take us a little bit through the items. What do we have here that's key to, you know, how this next fight will be ending?
All right, so one strange thing Pete's done on Misfortune there, he's went with the Bloodthirster straight to a Phantom Dancer. A lot of the MFs usually go like Bloodthirster to Black Cleaver to make the bullet time bigger, especially when they're comboing with something like Zed, who also does physical damage. But that build to me tells me Yellow Pete doesn't care as much about his ultimate and more just wants to auto-attack duel. Like when Morden runs in at him, he wants to be able to deal with him well. Samix jumps on him, he wants to be able to burst him down as well. They have enough teamfight control in their opinion because they have Froggen. Anivia just by himself will control the team fights. I like that choice. I mean, they have the Locket of the Iron Solari. Snoopy thinks that's much better than Aegis, which is what Morden's went for. And now, Snoopy actually, Extra just ditching out, but they burned the Twisted Fate ultimate.
Yeah, Twisted Fate ulti is gone, and EG pushing up middle here. I mean, they know he can only take a certain amount of options, really, from the position that he was in from there, but it's not about chasing right now. They know that Destiny's down. They're pushing straight up this middle lane here. Wicked just going to branch off to the side as they see the briefcase come through. Actually, they've got Ward there on that corner bush, so they know where they were coming from. The hook not quite landing onto Extermin. Good few auto attacks coming off on towards the turret, but the volley slowing them down. EG move off.
And EG really has to find a way to crack this turtle because the volley spam plus the Void Spike spam from Kha'Zix did repel them when they were trying to do that 5v4 push earlier, and it just repelled them there. So they have to find a pick, and they might get something like this if Froggen gets a good one.
They're setting up the trap here. Actually, the focus is going down on towards Morden, onto the tank there. Yellow Pete's going to rip him to pieces. Wild Growth comes in. There's the bullet time. Zed diving in as well. Samix goes low. The Ignite will finish him off there. Crepo gets the kill as the box goes down. There's the hook on Jimbone. He cleanses that away. They turn the damage around onto Crepo, who will survive. There is a killing spree from Froggen. A flash away from Babetta. He won't get stunned up, but EG with 3 low members.
And they're still very, very low as you're saying. Can they get this push up? Jimbones and Babetta all trying to go back to base, but they don't have their home guard boots yet, so they probably can't make it back to save this inhibitor.
The ward was put down, and EG surely going to back off from this one. Morden was coming back in there. Froggen just going to go back around the corner of the wall there. He's not too worried about that one as the briefcase comes in and stops it.
This is really interesting because I was talking with Snoopy yesterday about how teams mid and late game have to recall together. Froggen should have recalled together. He almost got himself in trouble there if Morden would have been able to land that infected cleaver from Dr. Mundo. And EG has to be a little bit careful of a desperation Baron here from Giants. They were low with the delayed recall. Giants might try to make some of a counter push because they still haven't all went back to base to heal.
And we see there a Giant's belt being picked up with a pickaxe on Misfortune, so getting a bit tankier. Some Fire Cape finish for Snoopy as well, but Giants are pushing this outer turret here in that middle lane, and it will be taken down. So that was the 3rd turret of the game. All outer turrets now down for Giants, but it's a massive, a mountain even, like bigger than Everest right now, I think, against a team like EG.
It's pretty big Everest against EG, and EG
Everest.
doesn't usually throw leads. They're the ones that if they're down, they're more likely to come back because of the way they play and how they usually pick late game team comps. But once you're into a team fighting phase against EG, it is an Everest style comeback. Kilimanjaro as well. I don't know which is harder to climb. I feel like K2 is a harder mountain to climb than
Everest's the biggest, so.
It is the biggest mountain. There we go, Joe. And it's just, they got the inhibitor in the last fight, so when they were looking for something, they were able to get it. It took them a little while to crack that code, but now they do seem to once again be in full control. I mean, Crepo still has about a minute left on his Oracles. They might look to do something with Baron, but since they have an inhibitor downed already, they might just look for their second inhibitor, and they're on the hunt for probably Extra once again, who is just trying to recall out. I wonder if Froggen's going to catch him.
Yeah, Froggen is chasing down there, and actually Extermin cancelled that one off after he saw him coming in there, and now he's going to be running away. Where's the portal going to come? The stun not quite landing. Extermin up inside the jungle, and EG pinging that one. They know that he's going to be around there somewhere. Yellow Pete going to go from his spidey sense in this one, but I don't think he's even going to be in range to get that E down, or will he? Yeah, oh, close stuff. He got it down, but Twisted Fate already in the process of leaving.
They saw where Twisted Fate ported to because of the ward they had at red, and then they predicted he would be in the Wraith brush. That's why he ran through that. The only other brush he could have been in was the one that Yellow Pete put his Make It Rain down on him, but it was like a millionth of a second too slow, and it was great prediction work by LP. It just didn't pay off.
Didn't pay off, but what have EG got from that? No Destiny now available. That's not means he's not going to be able to move, but maybe even more importantly, to reveal the positions of EG, because with those wards not really with not a lot of ward coverage is what I'm trying to get out there from Giants. They probably have to rely on that coming out of Twisted Fate. Because
you're absolutely right. Giants has been so pushed back to their base, they haven't been allowed to ward up their own Baron area. Oracles did expire on Crepo, which gives Giants the ability to put Ruby Sightstone wards over and over again. And it's actually funny, Giants is sitting on 2 Oracles right now because they're trying to split push, but this Baron going to be going down pretty fast. Giants not even in position to contest. They got to throw some kind of like hawk shot in or TF ult, but all those things are down. They're literally just trying to get those bottom turrets and giving up a Baron, but EG will easily get back in time.
EG gonna get back in time for this one. They will lose that inner turret, maybe even the inhib turret here. I mean, there are 3 men there for Giants. It depends how much they are willing to really commit to this one. Samex will be tanking it up until the minions come in, but here comes the home guard boots on Froggen. Where's the wall gonna come down? This could be very dangerous still. Is Froggen gonna commit to this one? He has flash up available in a split second here. Will he go for it? Actually gets slowed in the end there, and it looks like they should be able to walk away from that.
Wicked has been flanking around the back though, and he's going for Jims right here.
Oh, Jimbo's in a lot of trouble. Snoopy is in there as well, and together they will destroy him. Actually, Yellow Pete managed to sneak in there to pick up the kill right in the end. But look at this, double super minions coming up that middle lane right now. EG going to be following in there as well. This is actually a dangerous time where if Giants play it wrong, I think they could lose the game right here.
They're in huge, huge trouble. The main ways they were repelling the pushes before is volley spam along with Kha'Zix's Void Spikes. One part of that equation is completely missing, and this time Evil Geniuses has Baron as well, so this is an incredibly difficult turret to hold.
That turret is going to be ripped to shreds there, leaving the inhibitor completely open. The hook just missing there. Extermin coming in to get the stun down. Didn't really do much damage as Extermin also taking a big hit from Zed. Where are they going to go now, EG? They're going to be focusing in on towards the Nexus turrets. They want to end this game right here, right now. Half health taken down. There's the hook coming in towards Jim Bones. The bullet time almost taking him out as well. Yellow Pete in the meantime is still hammering away. There's the Ash Arrow. It hits Nasus. That's not the target that it needs to land on. And EG will manage to wall them off. Will they go in for the kills? Yes, they will. Morden going low. Samex is right in there, but he jumps away. EG not super healthy from this one, but what the Giants have to follow up? Nothing.
Yeah, Giants is consistently going back to their base to heal up. EG living there 5v5. The Baron regen is enough. Amazing that nobody died there. They got most of the work done. There's still 1 Nexus turret available for Giants, but Evil Geniuses pretty much has complete control of this. They still have, I think their Baron just ran out at, no, I was looking at the wrong one. Their Baron's got plenty of time left. They got a minute and a half left on the Baron. I think they're going for inhib 3.
Yep, the last and final one standing here. Actually, Wicked had gone a bit further back there, but it will be still a 5-man push from EG working up.
Yeah, and Kha'Zix is trying to come in from behind. This would be the last-ditch effort for Giants if they can get something, but EG knows they're there. Giants has to hold on their 3rd inhibitor. If they give this up, they are giving away the game. There's like a 2 or 3% chance Giants can come back in this one, but this would be what they'd have to do that is fight here.
Kha'Zix there was on top of that ward pretty much the entire time. Got stunned up. Froggen didn't follow in there. We see another ward put down just outside the base, which is quickly repelled and taken down. Snoopy tanking up the turret here. Good few auto attacks coming in. Samex again from the side will avoid the stun, but they get the hook in towards Extermin. Here we go. They go right in there. The box is down. Giants going to be slowed right down to a standstill, and they're being ripped to pieces here. Morden will get his ulti running, but Samex won't be able to escape. They pick up 2 kills. They're going to go through to that 3rd and final inhibitor here. In fact, EG may just choose to finish the game straight off. I mean, they're not super healthy here, or at least Wicked and Snoopy below half HP. Morden and Babetta coming back from the base, but can they, between them, hold this one off? Jimbone's going to be instrumental if they can do anything with it. The turret being hammered away out. There's a wither down on towards Jimbone's. A volley comes in. The wall will land. There is bullet time. Wicked dominating right now. They turn back around. They're going to go onto the Nexus, and EG take down Giants here in our first game of the day.
Gotta feel good for Evil Geniuses. They didn't get their champions banned. I mean, we don't like to harp on it too early, but this was so much about Giants getting that penalty at the start. They lost 2 of their bans. Evil Geniuses, complete control, really, really solid play, comfortable victory for them, Joe.
Comfortable victory and a great start to their 2 games here in our second day here in Lille. We're going to go over to our analysis for this one with Jason Kaplan and Aranea.
Thank you for that, Joe. And Aranea, what an interesting game number 1. It started off a little bit of a crazy start. We had Giants come a little bit late. They lost their first 2 bans, but in the end, EG picked up the champions they wanted, and Giants just didn't look like they were really with it in that first game.
Well, it was pretty much a snowball from the level 1. That level 1 reminds me our game against Meteor Maker. It was like a snowball, level 1, 2 kills for EG, and pretty much it was every lane winning from that, from EG. And they tried to do a swap lanes. Giants didn't quite work out, because even though they get the first tower, Ash and Lulu, they get first tower top 1, but Cathix wasn't farming that good as Wicked was doing with Zed. So they were quite better, EG, with that 2 first kills and that swap lane, so it quite better for EG at the end.
Well, let's just go into the first replay of the game, because it was the very first part of the action of the game. It was about 50 seconds in, and can you kind of set up this before we actually get into it, because it's a very key point in the game.
Yeah, actually, they had really strong level 1 EG. They have Nasus with his AoE. They have, well, Wicked is not really good, their set is not really good, but Anivia is really good, and Thresh is a beast in level 1. And from the other point, Giants has only really good one on TF and Ash with the Quick Quit and the volley, but the rest are not really good. And at this point, even that they didn't get a spot, they were in the brush waiting for EG. They got destroyed when Thresh landed a grab on TF, and they just focused TF down. And then Wicked was going to die, but he flashed away and was completely safe.
Okay, let's get the replay on your screen, and we can go ahead and walk you through it, and you can tell us exactly what is happening right here, because like you were saying before, this is pretty much, I don't want to say the deciding point of the game, but it pretty much set the tone with how the entire game progressed.
Yep, Giants were just waiting for them, but then Exter, I don't know why, he ran to the left and he saw to the enemy team that they were there, and Thresh, impressively good grab on Exter. They just destroy him, kill him, get the first blood, and now Wicked is going to die by the full team of Giants. He flashed away, and then they kill Mundo as well with that auto attack of Anivia, and then they have to run away and they have to waste all their flashes. We're gonna see how Babetta flash, Samu's gonna flash as well, and they waste everything there. Only Jimbe has flash as well on Ash. But they waste everything, and 2 kills for ED was so good level 1 for him.
Something I want to point out here is that right here, I mean, actually, let me go back just a little bit farther. It's going to look a little bit iffy, but it is really a huge point in the fight, is that the AoE in level 1 fights are insane, like how much they actually benefit you. But we see Snoopy's Spirit Fire, it just hits it hits all 5 members of Giants, and they just sit in it the entire fight right there, which just gave them that huge advantage, gave that little bit of early armor pen as well. And, well, as you saw right there, gave them that nice level 1 fight.
It was really impressive by EG. But that wasn't only the only point of EG strong. They had like some team fights. They were invading Blue Buff every time Blue Buff was up. They invaded, tried to kill Mundo and TF, and if they don't kill him, doesn't matter, because they will go for Drake or they will go for a turret. They were doing that all the time. Even when bottom lane get the tower, they move out, Thresh and MF go to mid lane, they grab a Mundo and they kill Mundo. And after killing Mundo, they just tank the mid tower because no one could defend it. So every time they were moving out the lanes, trying to grab someone, and after they kill someone, or at least they make him back to the Nexus, then they go for an objective, like a turret, like a Drake, or like a Blue Buff. They were really impressive EG this game.
During the picks and bans, you actually called out the Twisted Fate pick for Giants. Do you think that was a good pick when you already had Anivia on the board? Because we saw just how well Froggen controlled that lane. He kept it pushed up into that middle turret.
Well, actually, like, you shouldn't let Froggen play Anivia. Also, you shouldn't let EG play in Thresh, or you shouldn't let like them playing or Zed or Nasus. They were like pretty much playing their best champion. Probably Yellowbeard play also really good Varus. It's the only point they could change. But the rest of the team is probably like their main champions. And that point of being late and letting like only one ban to them and having to ban Lux, because we already saw like Froggen Lux is impressive. It's probably like he never misses a skill shot. He always lands everything and just like kill everyone with the laser, with the E, with the Q, with everything. But yeah, I mean, Anivia is strong against TF, but it's fine. Like TF, you can just roam all the time. It's not like a bad matchup for him.
Okay, well, we did have one big team fight that we wanted to point out, and it was pretty much all about Crepo in this fight, as you were talking about it. It was 6-0 for EG, 19 minutes in, 31,000, 24,000 gold. Walk us through this fight and show us exactly where EG pretty much won that fight.
Well, they were running back. Giant was trying to stop them because TF was pushing bottom alone. He was split pushing, and at this moment they were trying to stop them. We'll see how Modern and Jimbo were hitting on Creepo to slow him and try to kill him. He missed the Q, or Froggen missed the Q. Now they're going to slow Creepo and try to kill him slowly, or at least don't let them back. But at this point, Creepo lands a perfect hook and Ash. They went all for him, and we see the bullet time of Yellow Pete just destroying Ash with Nasus and Creepo killing him as well. In the back, we see Samus jumping over the wall of Anivia, killing MF, and now Samus gonna die from Wicked and Froggen, and now Ash gonna die from Nasus and Creepo, and now Wicked is gonna flash to kill Babetta. He will flash, ignite him, and land him a last Q to kill after the exhaust of Babetta.
And we actually saw this happen with Gambit yesterday versus Fnatic, where Darien is playing Kha'Zix, and he jumped into the backside of the team, but he got destroyed instantly. I mean, do you think that was a good move on his part right here, or do you think that was... ideally it was a good move, but it just didn't work out?
By Giants was a good move. I mean, he jumps and he killed MF, and he almost survived. The problem was Anivia only used the wall on the enemy team. He didn't use a stun. He was waiting for Kathy. You know, like, Kathy's gonna jump on us, gonna jump on an MF or on me, and I will stun him, and I will destroy him. And that's exactly what happened. If Anivia used the stun to kill Ash or Mundo at that time, he could survive. He could just destroy MF and run away, but he could not because he had the stun and he has the ultimate of Zed as well. So he just get like destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, you get locked down, then you have the burst out of Anivia. And if you're looking at Giants' lineup, do you think it was something they could have changed there, or do you think it was just their whole playstyle, losing blue buff over and over, getting caught level 1, getting caught in their own jungle?
The level 1 was pretty much snowball. It's like, you lose 2 guys, then they're standing with better items, low 1, to lane in. They did, I think for me, the laning swap wasn't that good. I mean, even that Ash could farm all the time top lane, you have a Zed who is going to farm a tower pretty well with W, Q, and E, and Kha'Zix is not going to farm that well. So at this point, it's better the laning phase for EG.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember Jat saying specifically that Zed was only 10 CS behind. Out of that, once that first turret went down, he was only about 10 CS behind at that point in the game. But for MVP, because we have to crown someone, who did you decide to give that to?
For me, the level 1 and the team fight we saw on the stream was both won by one guy. It was Creepo landing all the time the grab. First time on Extra TF, second time on Ash, Jimbo. He used Destroy both with that grab. I think Thresh actually, he could be named the Thresh Prince right now.
Well, would he be the Thresh Prince or King after that game? That's the real question.
Thresh King is Edward.
It's always
Sorry.
Edward. But we thank you for help on this analysis. That's actually some great insight into the game. We're going to head over to Shocks with an interview with Snoopy.
Yes, thank you. I'm here with Snoopy, jungler for Evil Geniuses. Now, Snoopy, it kind of went perfect. You got the team comp you wanted, I suppose, and also 2 kills in that early game, a level 1 invasion.
I would say it was a little bit unfortunate that Giants were actually late and they ended up losing 2 bans, because we got some really strong picks like Zed and Anivia, which they probably wouldn't have let us have. So it was a bit unfortunate, but we had a really solid level 1, picked up 2 kills, and it snowballed from there.
You played Nasus. He's become more and more popular, so how does he fit your playstyle exactly?
Well, the good thing about Nasus is they have that wither and and the armor reduction from his E. It doesn't matter how far behind you are or whatever, it's always great utility. And I've always liked playing junglers that have great utility no matter how far ahead or behind they are.
All right, now, Snoopy, I've seen you on Twitter trying to get in a little French, so what have you learned?
Vous êtes formidable? Is that right?
I think you got that right. Is there anything else you'd like to say to this awesome crowd?
I would like to say you guys are awesome. The support you've showed up for our team, and how many of you have shown up over the past 2 days is fantastic. Like, I love the French crowd, and you're so enthusiastic. So
I think it's safe to say they love you too. Thank you very much, Snoopy. Now, before we go into a short break, I'd like to remind you of our Twitter question. If you could select an MVP for the LCS, both NA and EU right now, who would it be? If it's Snoopy, you can tweet that at LOL eSports, #LCS, and give us a reason why, of course, and we'll respond to your tweets later in the show. Now, the next game coming up is going to be Against All Authority versus the Copenhagen Wolves, a tense matchup with the Wolves back in full force since having Bjergsen back and AAA coming up with aggressive play game after game. We'll be right back with RNA at the analysis desk, so don't go anywhere.
It's the middle of the season. I'm not really happy with the place we are in right now. I think we can do a lot better.
So for the moment it's a safe thing, but we never know what's gonna happen.
But we lost against a few teams I was expecting to win. So I hope we just moved into the gaming house. I hope we can do a lot better in the next half of the season.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the, wow, I thought I was going into the arena there for a second, but welcome back to Lille, France. This is LCS week number 6, and we have a little bit of time to sit down and talk with RNA from Team Alternate.
Hi. Nice, let's go always.
Man of many words.
Many words.
We have a lot of stuff we can talk about here. First of all, let's talk about today, what happened. Just really quickly, you guys won your spot into the actual relegation matches, and then you played against Mitri Makers. Were you really, concentrate on that match, or you kind of just, oh well, we're already in, not a big deal if we win or lose this one?
We were concentrated, but I think like MYM experience in LAN events is higher than us. Like probably we had like 2 players who made really missed position in both games, and pretty much like pull us to a really bad position for every team fight. And also like first game we had it dominated. We were like doing a really good split push every time with like TS support, really nice thing to play. And we were dominating the game at the start, but then like there was some kind of miscommunication that we tried to initiate on a team fight. We get caught, and then they get a burn, and after that burn, we got like completely destroyed. And second game, we tried to do something level 1. We expect them to do something they didn't do, and then they had like perfect level 1 against us, and we didn't expect them to be all of them there at like 1.50. And they destroy us level 1, like 3 kills for them, and nothing much we could do after that.
Okay, and I want to ask you this question because you've already qualified once for Season 3 back with SK at the Season 2 regional qualifiers at Gamescom. Do you feel like there's any extra pressure on you to qualify again or to get in LCS this season?
No. I mean, my real pressure is my exams right now. I'm focused more on the exams for the university for my career. After that, I have a second pressure is my gaming career, but it's not like close enough to my student career. It's all what I'm focused right now.
If I'm not mistaken, you actually want to have like a master's, is it, or something?
No, I'm studying industrial engineering, the superior 5 years degree. I will end it like probably next year. And after that, I will be an engineer.
Oh gosh, engineer, RNA. Let's talk about Alternate a little bit, because I know once you left SK, you had a lot of time to join a new team, and you kind of looked around to see who you wanted to join. What was it about Alternate that made you want to actually go with that team?
I said like when I left SK, left Get Kick, whatever people want to talk about it. I was bench actually, and then like I didn't want to be a bench player, so I left it. After that, I think to some guys like you, I said like the only teams that attract me to play on right now will be like Fnatic and Alternate, because I have really close friends on both teams. I really like both teams, but it's like Fnatic, Lowry right now, Sanity is really strong, so no point on changing that. But Alternate, they felt like changing and doing some change and motivation will be better, and that's why I joined in, and I really like the team. It's like even that we lost here, we still like everyone is smiling, getting fun of the game, and we'll keep playing. Like tomorrow we'll join back to our homes, and we will again train together, and we'll again like having fun together, because at the end it is a video game and you have to have fun on it. And that's what we're having.
And to me, one thing that about Alternate that they were kind of lacking before you joined was they were all, well not all, but mostly solo queue players. You had Kerp and Feral Lord both 2900 or 3000, and they didn't seem to have that mindset or understand of how to play as a team in like a 5-on-5 sense. Do you think you brought that to the team and finally, gave them that info and were able to kind of work with that?
Well, after watching the first game, I could say, yeah, I brought that to the team. After watching the second game, I said, no. Like they still playing like solo queue. They made like so many stuff like teleporting back to a ward and trying to get something, or going like 1v1 alone and dying there. That's completely solo queue stuff. It should not happen on a professional league. And to us happened because our mindset is like really crazy and trying to get a lot of kills, and that's most likely solo queue, not pre-made mindset.
Okay, and in terms of LCS teams, do you think you guys should be? Well, it's hard to phrase this question, but do you think you guys deserve a spot over one of the teams that's already in there?
I will say yes. Not gonna talk about individual teams, but I think like coming back to the qualifier, we lost against Giant, we lost against Fnatic.
Yeah, you guys had the Hell group or something like that.
Yeah, we have the Hell group. People were talking about Group B. From Group B, no one qualified. After Dragonborns, the second qualified. They were talking like that was the group of death, and that wasn't. I mean, our group was Giants and Fnatic, both won against us, and both 2-0 the next enemies on the quarterfinals, and they both qualified really solid at that time. Right now, Giants is lacking on training, and they are lacking on level probably, but at this time, at the LCS qualified, they were really, really scary and really strong, and they destroyed Fnatic, and they destroyed us, and Fnatic destroyed us as well. So it was like pretty much the hell group, the worst group. And the thing was, like, before that, we were screaming against a lot of teams like Copenhagen Wolves, we played against AAA, we played against a lot of teams, and we beat them all. We're like so confident at the qualify, but then like Giant surprises and Fnatic, we expected that we were going to lose against Fnatic because we kind of lack on this like team play against these teleports, like we saw against Media Makers. We're really bad against that. It's like team play, and we don't have that much team play yet.
And speaking of playing against these teams, do you think this gives you an advantage when it comes time to do the relegation matches, that you have the LCS teams looking for teams outside of that to play against so they can practice new strategies? I know you've been playing against teams like EG, Fnatic. Does this give you some sort of advantage?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the advantage we have about their picks and about their bans, we know how they're going to play, but we also lack on so many training because they are like they are all living in a gaming house, waking up like at 12 or 11 and training from 12 till 12 in the night, like pretty much 12 hours. And I can't do that. I mean, I come back home like 6, 7 from the university, and after that we start training. So we train like only 4 or 5 hours per day and then train like 10 hours per day. So maybe our advantage we have about knowing the enemies because they are playing like every week, we lose it on lack of practice.
And do you actually solo queue much? I mean, because you seem like your time is very constrained right now. It seems like you don't have any free time at all. No. It's just strictly team practicing and then homework and school?
Only like Kerp and Jerry, they are like solo queuing every time because they have time at the morning and at the afternoon, but I don't have time for solo queue. I only play like solo queue on my Smurf. I have 2 Smurf and I'm playing there like all the time at night. But it's like at 12 in the night till like 2 in the night because I have to go to sleep and then wake up to go to university. So it's like no many times to solo queue actually.
Yeah, you won't dual queue with me. What a scumbag.
I did.
Yeah, that was back in Season 2. But and specifically Kerp, because I know you've been wanting to talk about this since yesterday. He plays with a trackball mouse.
Yeah, I didn't bring it. I will bring it later because it's amazing. Like if you see a trackball, I tried yesterday on the backstage. We were on the play launch and I was trying the trackball, and I was just like playing with a smile. Because it was so strange to play with only like one finger to move the full mouse. It was really strange to play with the trackball. I was so related on the stream that it's crazy how they play.
I know we're all talking about it. I wonder how big like the muscle in his thumb is to really control it the entire time. And not to mention, I think you even said he played FPSs with it, like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, he played Counter-Strike with it as well. He's good with it. I don't know, it's crazy.
I could never do that. It's just so...
No one can do that.
But Kerp can and get 2,900 ELO from that. But before we get into our next game, I want to talk a little bit about the differences between the LCS pros and the amateur teams trying to achieve, the pro level. Let's take a look at what the players had to say on the importance of achieving this status in the LCS and how it affects their lives.
Pretty much I've been playing video games since I was really young. I don't know, like my brother had a computer when I was a baby already, so it was like I was playing video games most of the time or watching my brother.
One time I was just a plain student that was playing computer games for fun, and then suddenly from day to day I realized, oh, actually I can say it's my work.
I moved out of my parents' house at the age of 18 and I kind of started living independently. So I was always doing what I wanted to do, what I had the passion to. So video games were always my passion, so I just followed my heart.
Going from having your hobby to be your job is kind of insane. You don't really realize it in the start that you're actually playing and earning money from it now. You just kind of keep playing.
When I realized that the way I played could bring me happiness and money to live as well, I decided to just go all in with it.
I was thinking about dropping studies for like over a year. Like for a year I was doing both studies and playing, and during that time I was like thinking if I should or if I shouldn't. It took me a lot of time.
I went to Korea for 2 months, and that's basically where I dropped out of school. I gave up on pretty much my life at home and just left it behind.
Having a conversation at home, telling your parents, yeah mom, I'm not doing my exams, I'll be going to Korea. How long? I don't know. What are we gonna do there? Play video games? With who? 5 guys from the internet? That's not a fun conversation to have, but I'm really lucky that my mom is really caring, and I just wanna give the chance to like thank her here. Thanks mom, love you.
Pro gamer itself is just, it just gives the meaning that you compete on a high level and you get paid for it. And as soon as you can do that, I think you should call yourself pro gamer and be proud of that.
You need to dedicate yourself a lot and actually focus on the team and team synergy pretty much all your free time, because you actually need to practice to get good.
I want to win everything. I want to appear in like giant posters in malls in some time, and I think it's doable and I'm gonna do it.
I've seen potential in esports for a long time now, but when I saw what Riot is doing with League of Legends, I knew it's gonna be big. So I saw the potential in League of Legends and I decided to go all out in this game, just try my best to become a pro gamer, and I succeeded for now.
See, I really love that video because you hear things about the players that you never really see too much, about the hardships at home, their parents, school. And specifically, Shushay mentioned it. He was under the decision of, should I drop out of school? Should I continue it? You go for playing professional League of Legends or not? And we talked about before, you're still in school and you're still trying to play and get into the LCS. How has this affected you? How has that decision in particular really affected you?
Well, it's pretty much like my father's and my brother just like telling me that the studies are more important than the video games. I mean, I think like some players can probably live off video games like his whole life, but not everyone. And that's something you have to take in mind. Like, okay, I'm gonna drop some years, but are you gonna keep studying like in 4 years? Are you gonna keep on like a master, like at university or something? Like when you are 26 years old, 25 years old? I don't really think so. I don't think like someone can do that after so many after a long break like many people is taking. So if you take like this life as a full gaming career, you have to focus so much on like streaming, on like fan base, and trying to have something in the future. Because if not, like what you're gonna have? What you're gonna have like in 2 years? I don't know how many years we're gonna have League of Legends. I hope we're gonna have a lot of years. I would love to see that, but still, after that, what you're gonna have? You have to think about that. You can't think only about the present and don't think about the future. Then you can be like not really a nice future. I don't know. And I'm pretty much thinking about the future, like having a studies, having like an university. And after that, when I end my studies, like my mom and my father told me, like when you end your career, do whatever you want. Take like 2, 3, 4 years and do whatever you want. Go party to the end of the world if you want to. Go to Australia and have fun. Yeah, they told me. I mean, go party and go whatever you want. I don't mind. But first of all, finish something and have something in your life. After that, decide.
And you mentioned your brother and your father right there. It's like saying, you should work with your studies. That's really important. How did your family take the whole thing of, hey, mom, dad, brother, I play a game professionally, because you did with SK. And you're still doing it now. Like, how do they take that? What was the response? Were they very supportive?
It was actually pretty funny. The story I could tell you, it was really funny, because I had my mom on Skype, and she didn't know anything. She didn't know anything about the League of Legends. My dad knew it, but not my mom. And my mom one day realized that my name of Skype was Arnie, and she was like, what is Arnie? And she checked Arnie on Google, and then she realized that, what? What are those videos? What are those interviews to this guy? This is my son. What is this? And then like the next morning, she called me like, Alvar, I have to talk with you now. And I was like, what's wrong, ma'am? And she was like, who is Arnie? And I was like, oh, snap. And I had to tell the full story that I went to Korea, I went to Germany, I went to a lot of countries, and she didn't know it before that. Yeah. And after that, right now it's much better because I can tell her everything. Probably she's watching me now, and she's like probably hating me a bit. She didn't understand English, so it's perfect. But still, like it's something really difficult because also my brother were playing video games a lot, pretty much more than me, and he wasn't earning anything. He wasn't earning money. He was like in World of Warcraft, so that's something different. And after that, he realized that I'm taking his same path, and he's trying to pull me to don't leave the studies. I mean, some months ago, he took me into his room and he was like, Alvar, you can't stop the study right now. You need to end it, and after that, you do whatever you want, but you need to end it. Don't take another way. That's like every time, like my dad and my brother just tell me the same.
That's still though. I mean, that's still some great family support. At least they're not saying, don't do gaming. There's no future in that. At least they want you to stick with studies. I know my parents did the same thing and really support me in this. But thank you for taking the time with us. It's always nice to talk to you. We're gonna have you back after this next game. But speaking of the next game, we're gonna go ahead and go over to Shox, introduce the next one.
Merci beaucoup. It's time to bring out our second match of the day, our second LCS match, and we're going to introduce the teams. First up, in the blue corner, a team, I think you know, they're a French organization, didn't quite make their mark yesterday, but looking for a win now. Put your hands together for Against All Authority! And in the red corner, Bjergsen got a quadra kill yesterday. Genny give us a penta today. It's the Copenhagen Wolves. I think our home crowd here has a little They like AAA, but that's to be understood, of course. But give it up for our two teams, you guys. Come on. All right, let's dive into this game with our casters. Take it away, guys.
Thanks a lot, Shocks, and I think she was a little bit lost for words there on stage.
That's
when
really the first like super home crowd cheer that's really came out booing the opposition. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, against All Authority, I said it yesterday, they are a French organization. Obviously, the team is not entirely French, but they've got a big French smile in the form of no-no, at least. But Copenhagen Wolves, full Danish team. What's your thoughts on this game, Jack?
Yeah, Against All Authority really had the tough loss to Evil Geniuses yesterday, and they have to step up a bit. I mean, no-no in particular has been stepping up a lot for them, so they have to keep that going.
And what about Wolves? They're bottom of the table, but they got that win yesterday.
Yeah, so Wolves took that big win over Dragonborns. They're still at the bottom of the standings. The thing people forget, though, Wolves started 0-9. Since then, they're 4-2. So they are really hot right now. Bjergsen creating a lot of pressure in the mid lane. Their 80 carries the test, doing well as well. Their whole team is actually gelling amazingly.
So let's have a look at the two lineups then that we're going to be seeing here today from both of these teams. On the blue side, Against All Authority with Freddy122, Virtual, Slayer, No-No, and Corralius.
And for the Copenhagen Wolves, we have Godbro in the top lane, Sven Skaren in the jungle, Bjergsen that mid lane carry, the Tess on AD, and Deficio on support.
So let's have a look then at the key players. First up, Against All Authority, their mid laner, Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer has been mid and top lane a lot, but especially, we always say this kind of going against Bjergsen, he's got to stop him from getting ahead early. He has to control him in lane, and then he has to go make plays Against All Authority, objective-based play style. They need to win their lanes. That is always their strategy, and no lane will be harder for them to win than mid lane with Slayer.
And talking about that mid lane for Wolves, their key man, we saw him coming halfway through this first half of the season, so I guess quarter of the way through. That is, of course, Bjergsen.
I think Bjergsen has 4 quadra kills already this season, and he only came in the mid-season since he turned 17, became eligible, and really as soon as the Copenhagen Wolves got them, they started to dominate. So he is like the prodigy of the league right now. He is so strong, and he's going to have to carry again.
And, of course, picked up the first pentakill as well here in the European LCS.
That was actually against... This was actually against All Authority with his Syndra.
This is, you know, the team that no one wanted to lose to Copenhagen Wolves at that point. They were in this whole bad run of form, but, you know, things have since changed for that. As you said, since going 0-9, things have been on the up for the Copenhagen Wolves, but they are still bottom of the table. We'll see if that thing is going to change here today. Let's get into Champion Select then. The picks and the bans are underway, and the first ban coming out of Against All Authority already is Lux, aimed straight at Bjergsen.
Yeah, it is aimed at Bjergsen, but I don't necessarily remember Bjergsen destroying